My name is Andy, and this is the most magical podcast on earth. When I'm not on holiday at Walt Disney World, I'm planning a holiday to Disney. And when I'm not planning a holiday to Disney, I'm talking about Disney, with other UK fans like me who make the trip to Orlando and the House of the Mouse. So whether you're a parks professional or a Florida first-timer, this is the podcast for you. Each episode, I'll be chatting to other Disney superfans to share memories of their magical times, answering your Walt Disney World questions, getting you all the latest news from the parks, and finding out what's happening right now in Orlando. So get your ears on as we take you to the most magical place on earth. Welcome to the first podcast of 2026. Happy New Year. Welcome to a year that hopefully you may be taking a trip to one of the Disney parks around the world. As well as being the first podcast of 2026, it's the first day of the Ep1 Festival of the Arts today. And also, I just want to drop in this, it's my birthday today, so happy birthday to me. Which means this time last year, I was in California. In fact, this exact day, 16th of January 2025, I was in Walt's apartment on Main Street in Disneyland. And if you want to know how and why, have a listen back to all last year's podcasts when I visited every single Disney park around the world. Yes, all 6 castles. There's a lot of episodes for you to listen back to. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome. We're here every other week. New guests sharing their stories and experiences every other Friday. We'll have some top tips and recommendations, answering your questions, latest news, everything you need to know. So if you want to listen back between podcasts, we've got about 5 or 6 years worth of podcasts, some incredible guests, the likes of AJ from Disney Food Blog was on last year. We've had Adam Hatton and Gary. They've been on episodes. William Hanson, the etiquette expert. He's a Disney fan. He was on a few years ago. So there are plenty of episodes to listen back to if you are brand new to the podcast. If you are, you can follow us on the socials as well. At Podmagical on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can listen to the podcast on YouTube as well. There's no visuals, but you can have a listen and follow us on YouTube if you'd rather listen that way, and on TikTok. So yeah, every other week, brand new episodes. We're going to get cracking with our guest for this episode, Sarah, in just a moment. We'll have some news and some top tips later on. But I just want to tell you now, if you want to get in touch with the podcast, maybe you've got questions. We usually start with a question, which we will do. We'll be back to normal on our next episode. So if you have a question, and it can be anything about Disney World, or maybe if there's any of the other parks you've got a question about, whether it comes to planning or booking or eating, any recommendations, any tips, nothing is too stupid. There is no question too stupid. If you can't find the answer anywhere else, give me a try. You never know, I might just know. If you want to send me a question for the podcast, or if you'd like to be a guest on a future episode, at Podmagical on the socials, my DMs are open. Drop me a message, I'll get back to you. And our first guest of the new year is Sarah. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. So we were all, just before we started recording, we were chatting about your plans for January, which are very exciting, but we'll talk about that later. But right now, let's talk about your Disney World trip in May of 2025, which was your first ever Disney World trip, yeah?
My first as an adult. So I actually went as a kid. My parents took me when I was, I think, around 3, 4 and 6. So obviously very small and kind of had limited memories of that. So yeah, this year, 2025, was our first grown-up trip. My first family trip. I've got a 2-year-old daughter, so my husband and I decided to take her. We're really trying to take advantage of those free under 3 tickets. I think we're pushing the boundaries of that this year.
As many times as possible.
Exactly. It's girl math. You've kind of got to get them there when they're still free.
So there was quite a bit of time then between you going as a kid and you going as an adult. Was there a big gap?
Yeah, I mean, so I'd been to Disneyland Paris a couple of times. My mum and I actually, I think, went to Disneyland Paris when I was around 16, just for like a couple of days, the two of us. But yeah, really big gap in the for Walt Disney World, definitely. And to be honest, we kind of weren't even really planning on it. I think like most people with kids, you kind of think, if it's only going to be a once in a lifetime trip, got to wait until they're a little bit older, they'll remember it more. But we decided to take her to Disneyland Paris in February for her 2nd birthday. So again, kind of, we knew she would be free. it's not that far to go. It's nice to do a short trip. So we thought, well, let's try it. I've been dying to take her to Disney basically since she was born. So I was like, let's just give it a few days. That's a nice, easy dip our toes in. And we all loved it so, so much. We just had the best time. So that then obviously kind of got my brain going of, oh, maybe Orlando could be on the cards sooner. And almost then, as soon as we got home, my husband had a work opportunity come up in Miami.
Oh, wow.
So, we're very lucky. We kind of get to travel quite a lot or rather he gets to travel quite a lot for work. And when we can, my daughter and I will tag along. So when he found out he might need to go to Miami, that obviously got the cogs turning.
Yeah, you were like, hang on a minute. Miami.
How long a drive is that to Orlando? So we kind of started looking into, or I mainly started looking into Disney World and thought, oh, we could do a couple of days. And then, of course, when you look at ticket prices, when you're buying those UK tickets, a couple of days isn't really an option. It's 7 or 14. So it kind of grew arms and legs quite quickly. We actually, ironically, his work trip then got cancelled. It got moved to Toronto instead of Miami.
Oh, no.
But by then we were too invested and too excited about the idea of doing Walt Disney World. So we ended up going anyway. So we did a 10-day stay in all. And it was just amazing. It was absolutely incredible.
Did he then have to go to Toronto after the back of going to Disney?
He did, yeah. So it worked out. It was a very strange trip, but it worked out well. Yeah, we did 7 nights in Disney World together. So the kind of part that we had planned. And then, he had to go to Toronto for 3 nights. So I actually decided to just stay in Orlando and extend our Disney trip. So I stayed with my daughter on my own and we had an extra little 3 nights.
Oh, did you have I think you had a really cute little time, didn't you?
It was really lovely and it just felt like such a kind of bonus few days. But again, we planned this trip really last minute, but as is often the case, when we bought our tickets, as I said, we were only going for 7 nights, but a lot of the time when you buy passes, you get the 14-night pass for the same price as the 7. Yeah. So luckily I had already bought us the 14, well, myself, obviously my daughter was free, so I had already got the 14-day ticket pass. So when we found out that he had to go to Canada, I was like, well, we could stay and the only extra cost is a few more nights in a hotel.
Yeah.
I've got the tickets. Why not? So it turned into a 10-night trip and then he flew back down and joined us for the last day. He got a little half day in Epcot at the end as well.
That little bonus. So where did you stay on that trip?
So our 7 nights was in Caribbean Beach Resort. Yeah. Which I just absolutely loved. I'm such a big fan of that hotel. It was phenomenal. So we stayed there for 7 and then we added on 3 nights at Pop Century afterwards. So it was really nice to be able to compare, to kind of have done that bigger stay at a moderate, but then do kind of 3 nights at the Value as well, just to try a few more places out, kind of, and to...
Yeah. Having done both of them together like that, did you see the value of paying more for the moderate? Or would you go, you know what, next time we don't really need to pay extra for moderate but that was fine?
No, do you know, I hate to say it because I wish I did feel that way, but no, I really, really loved Caribbean Beach Resort a lot more. As I say, I almost hate to say it because, I mean, the values were great and Pop was great. And if we were going and our trip was a more budget trip, and like I would happily stay there again, absolutely. There weren't really any problems with it at all. But yeah, staying at Caribbean Beach just was so much better. I think obviously it's a big part of the feeling, but it really just felt like a holiday kind of in itself. Like the beach theme really worked for us. Like it did kind of feel like a true getaway, especially when you're in the parks all day and they're obviously fantastic, but quite often really, really busy and chaotic at times.
Especially with a 2-year-old.
Yeah, you really want that kind of divide and you want that bit more like space and quiet, and Caribbean Beach Resort just was that for us. It felt quite natural. That kind of surprised me. It didn't feel too built up. Every little village, it's quite a spread out resort around one of the little lakes, the little lagoons, and every little village, they call them, kind of cluster of rooms has its own little beach area. And yeah, it just felt super chilled, laid back, actual kind of holiday vacation vibes, but still in the Disney bubble. It was a really great mix. It worked out really well for us.
And that Skyliner.
Oh,
Bonus.
I'm such a huge fan of the Skyliner. To a point, I think I'll find it hard to stay anywhere else now, to be honest. I think the Skyliner is almost my favourite ride. It was just...
A lot of people say that.
I know, I totally get it now. And my daughter loved it too. And I guess to that point as well, when you're travelling with a young kid, obviously the buses are great and they serve a purpose and they're really reliable, but just small things like the Skyliner, you can just push your buggy or your pram straight on.
Yeah.
There's no folding that up and grabbing all your bags out underneath and trying to wrestle a toddler to sit on a bus or hold on to them while you're standing. Yeah, the Skyliner is just perfect for all of that kind of stuff. You just wheel them straight on. You often get your little cabin to yourself. It's a nice, like, peaceful start to the day. You're guaranteed a seat. There's no standing for 15 minutes on the way to Magic Kingdom or anything like that. It also really, I think, works perfectly for those of us that are travelling on, like, the UK ticket package, because you automatically get park hopper tickets.
Yeah.
Putting yourself in a Skyliner resort and therefore so close to Epcot and so close to Hollywood Studios, it's really easy to take advantage of just popping into those resorts. Like, some days we would just go into Epcot for dinner. Like, we'd maybe done our day at a different park, or even if you've had a bit of a resort day and a bit of pool time, like, it's so easy to get there. It feels like it's just there. It doesn't feel much more effort than just going for a dinner in your resort. So yeah, it really felt like it opened up everything for us. So
I'm guessing as well, having that Skyliner, if you've been to, say, Animal Kingdom or even Magic Kingdom, going back to Epcot towards the end of the night, it means that at the end of the night, you're jumping on the Skyliner to get home rather than waiting for a bus and being crammed on with everybody else. So you're kind of like one step nearer back to your resort then, aren't you, if you do Hollywood Studios or Epcot at the end of the night?
Exactly. And to be honest, not that we stayed till the super end. We decided not to push it too late with our daughter. She is on a bit of an earlier bedtime schedule, sadly, so we didn't do any of the nighttime shows. But yeah, never kind of having that worry getting home at the night. It's just a fantastic convenience. And also on that point about the fireworks, you could see the Epcot fireworks from Caribbean Beach Resort as well, which I didn't expect. That was such a nice little bonus of the hotel that I didn't know. So some nights after she had gone to bed, I would kind of sneak out, and you can stand on one of the little beach areas or up near the lobby and you can see the fireworks in the distance. You don't get the music pumped in like you do obviously at Polynesian and things with the Magic Kingdom fireworks, but it's still just a really nice little touch. And again, a reminder that you're very much in the Disney bubble, even though you feel like you're on this kind of vacation-y island time. It's lovely.
What kind of time zone did you keep her on then? Did she kind of semi-adjust to being in Florida? Oh
yeah, we kept her just doing kind of normal hours, but it's obviously so overwhelming for little ones. Like, she was up quite early in the morning, so we tried to rope drop as much as we could, which works better for us. And then we are very much a big fan of doing the back to again, why the Skyliner works, back to the room in the middle of the day for a nap and a rest. And my husband and I would take turns that one of us would stay in the room with her while she napped. The other one would go and get a little bit of time by the pool. That worked perfectly to kind of get that relaxation in and a bit of downtime before then going again and back into the parks most afternoons. So
you got it sussed.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to with a kid. You have to take those breaks. I think, to be honest, even without a kid, it can be so full on in the parks. And obviously the heat, if you're not used to those kind of 30-degree temperatures, taking a break in the middle of the day just to either have a rest, jump in the pool, whatever you need to do to kind of cool down, I think it can make a big difference to your trip.
So you have no regrets about taking a 2-year-old? You don't wish you'd have waited a few more years till she was a little bit older? Because a lot of people say, they're going, well, she's not going to remember it. But I always say that, well, you'll remember it. So
I know, no, definitely. And I think, I think my husband definitely worried about that more than I did. But no, it's a really valid question, because you're right. A lot of people do think they have to wait until some kind of perfect age where your kid's going to have all these amazing memories. But no, absolutely zero regrets. She loved it, and she still, I mean, obviously that was May. We're a good few months later now, or quite a few months later now, and she still remembers it and talks about various parts of it. Okay. I think she's definitely gotten the bug which is lovely.
At an early
Um,
age.
I mean, it depends what kind of kid you have as well. We were really lucky. Like, I know I've got friends that like their kids are scared of the characters or scared of dark rides and things like that. I've even heard someone saying their kid was scared of animatronics, and I can't imagine how you would do the parks with that. But no, luckily she's really brave and just embraced it straight away and loved the characters. And no, it was a really lovely age, because I think anything kind of, I mean, I guess I don't know when that ends. Hopefully we've got a couple more years, but any kind of time around 2, 3, 4, the magic is real to them. Like, they don't know that these are characters. They think they're meeting the real Mickey, the real Goofy, the real Stitch, the real whoever.
They are the real Mickey and Stitch. For me.
So just the magic is so real to them that it's just absolutely incredible, and it makes it so real to you as a parent as well to watch. So I do think it's a brilliant age to take them. If you can take them young, say you're getting them free, you're saving a lot of money on their tickets, you're saving a lot of money on food as well. If you do table service meals, character dining, any kind of buffet, they're completely free.
Yeah.
So you can save a lot of money by getting in before they're 3. And as I say, just the look on her face was just amazing. And it's just, they don't question any of it. It's just like, oh my God, I'm in this place, and it's so magical and so wonderful, and it's really amazing to see.
To be at that age myself and go back and see that. What do you remember about your first time at Disney World when you were little?
To be perfectly honest, not an awful lot, which is maybe disproving my point of why you should take kids young.
Having said all that.
Having said all that, I remember nothing. No, that's not quite true. It's funny the things you remember though, isn't it? It's funny the things that stick in your head. Some of my most vivid memories are around the resort, actually, more than the parks. The time I went when I was 6, we stayed in All-Star Sports Resort, which I think was pretty much brand new. That must have been around 1995. So I think it was a pretty new resort at that time. I remember it being like a big deal that we were staying there, and that was the first time we were staying on site. So I've got quite specific memories around the resort. We had a hurricane. I think it was August we visited in. So I remember I think that's why I remember the resort. There was a day that we couldn't leave the hotel because there was a hurricane. So that's definitely stuck in my mind. And then from the parks, I've kind of got a fraction of a memory of the fireworks at Magic Kingdom, like standing on a wall, watching the fireworks show. And then again, the things you remember or sadly for me, tend to be the slightly more negative things. But
oh no.
One of my most vivid memories was going on Splash Mountain. My parents convinced me to go on Splash Mountain, and I was convinced I was going to fall out the log. So that was a really amazing moment for me personally, going back. This year was going on the new Tiana's ride, and almost kind of righting that wrong or facing that fear, really.
No, you're not going to fall out this time. Exactly.
And kind of getting over that, because I can so vividly remember how scared I was about going on that ride when I was young. So it was really fun to go back on that as an adult and just enjoy it.
Could you take your little girl on that? Is there a height? Okay.
There is a height restriction. Well, this is going to be a problem we're going to have in future years. So we're a very tall family. So my daughter's not even 3 yet, and she is now, I think she's just about hitting the 40-inch height requirement for that most rides will have. So definitely for future trips, we're going to have to gauge ourselves basically what she can handle, because I think height wise she'll be able to go on almost everything even by 3 years old, which probably puts the onus a little bit back into our hands rather than
traumatise her.
That's the balance, isn't it, of safety wise, they're fine if they meet the height requirement that Disney specified, but we'll need to see what she can handle. But she's a daredevil. One of the best memories from the trip we were just on was, although it's not the best ride, but Barnstormer, the little kid coaster by Dumbo in Magic Kingdom. We did that with her. She wanted to try a roller coaster. She had been on the Casey Jr. train in Disneyland Paris, which is not quite a coaster, but it's a little train that goes around a track and it goes from side to side. So she absolutely adored that in Paris. So Barnstormer felt like the next step up to kind of let her try a kind of little mini roller coaster for the first time, and she just absolutely loved it. She she was screaming the whole ride. And then as soon as we got off it, just the biggest smiles. And she wanted to stand and then watch other people go round on it for ages. And
Oh, that's good.
you could just see in her face, she was so proud that she had gone on it. So that was just a really lovely memory from that trip. So
Just build from that.
Exactly. She's a daredevil. She wants to go on Slinky. We did Slinky Dog, but kind of as like a rider switch so that my husband and I could both go on it. And she's dying to go on it. So
We're not quite tall enough yet.
not quite. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
Would you say that's your ultimate favourite memory then, her first time on the little coaster?
Oh, it's such a hard question that to kind of narrow down a few memories. That's definitely one of them. Another really kind of special memory, because it was such a surprise from that trip in May, was on our last Magic Kingdom day. So one of the days that it was just my daughter and I going into the park. We just did the afternoon in the park. We'd had a lazy morning by the pool. We kind of went into the park with no real plans, no lightning lanes or anything like that, just to try and, I think it was to catch the parade. We love a parade. So it was to catch the parade, maybe ride a few rides, but no real goals. And as we were leaving for the day, I was just walking to pick up dinner in my mobile order in Frontierland. And we stumbled across the Frontierland Hoedown. Have you seen that before?
Yes, I love it. Yeah, and you never know when it's going to be.
I didn't even know it existed, because it's not something that you find on the app. There's no times for it. No. You can't plan for it at all. So I had never even heard of it. We were just literally walking through Frontierland and I saw one of the country bears appear. I was like, oh, that's so strange. You don't normally see them out and about as a character. And then, yeah, the music started and some cast members started dancing. And it was just like, okay, let's stand and watch this. What's going to happen? And just all these characters pour out of nowhere. They get the country bears.
Chip and Dale, aren't they? And Clarabelle's there.
Clarabelle, that's the name I was trying to remember. Yeah, Clarabelle and Horace and the Chip and Dale part was especially amazing. So we had been really lucky with all the characters we had wanted to meet on our trip, but Chip and Dale was the final ones that my daughter had actually asked to meet, but we hadn't been able to find. So then to see them, she was just so excited, and yeah, it was fantastic. So they then get the crowd to join in after they kind of do their first little dance, just the cast members and the characters. They get all the kids up to join in. So it was just really lovely. So she got to do, I think it was the hokey cokey, holding hands with one of the country bears.
Oh.
And then she wandered over to Chip and Dale, who I don't think they're supposed to stop. I think they're kind of meant to keep dancing and they can hold hands with kids. But they properly, Chip properly stopped what he was doing and sat down with my daughter, gave her a huge hug. It was just really lovely. It was a really special moment. I think because it was so unexpected, as I say, something I didn't even know happened in the parks. It just was that really kind of magical, special, can't plan for moment. So yeah, that's definitely up there in favourite memories as well.
Back with our guest Sarah in just a moment. Let me give you a news update. There's been plenty of things happening since we last spoke, including the Percy Jackson exhibition. If you're a fan of Percy Jackson on Disney Plus, I'm enjoying this series actually. There's a little exhibition that's just opened in One Man's Dream in Hollywood Studios. That's where the Taylor Swift exhibition was. So that looks like it's going to be a rotating exhibition for various things that are coming on and off Disney Plus. Since last we spoke, Sprinkles Cupcakes has gone. You used to get the cupcake ATM at Disney Springs. Well, they've closed all their branches across America. We don't know why, but Sprinkles Cupcakes has now gone. What else have we got to tell you about? Well, there's a new snack kiosk in Toy Story Land. If you want to get the spring rolls at Magic Kingdom, you can get them now from Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios in that new kiosk. So more food choices there. And there's a new show talking about Toy Story. New show coming to the Diamond Horseshoe in Magic Kingdom. Jessie and her pals from Toy Story are going to be doing this. Is like the first time in 20 years there's been any kind of entertainment in the Diamond Horseshoe over at Frontierland in Magic Kingdom. There'll be dancing, there'll be crafting and various other activities, and this is all part of the Cool Kids Summer, which runs from May to September. You might remember they had it last year. As part of this, there's been various offers and things, mostly for American audiences, but part of Cool Kids Summer, there will be this. It's going to be happening at Magic Kingdom. along with other dance parties and more characters in those early morning entry, half an hour entries throughout the park. So just keep an eye out for that. Also, as part of Cool Kids Summer, they incorporated the reopening of the Buzz Lightyear attraction at Magic Kingdom, and also Big Thunder reopens as well. Lots of other things going on, including the after hours at Disney parks, so Epcot and Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom. If you want to go to the parks with no crowds and you don't mind paying a few quid, it's a private, separately ticketed event, but some of the after hours are now on sale. If you want empty parks and snacks, if you're only there for a few days, might be worth looking into. Any news between now and the next podcast? Follow us on the socials at PodMagical. Sarah is with us on this episode of the podcast. I've not asked you this question. Why do you love Disney World?
So I think I love Disney theme parks for like the main reason everyone does. That you've got the nostalgia, the incredible design. They just also feel so genuinely inclusive and like kind of genuine fun for all the family. For me, Walt Disney World kind of stands out. Just like the sheer size and scale of it is so hard to imagine if you've not been there. And then that feeling of being in the Disney bubble is so real. I don't think you get that anywhere else. Like, it's just complete immersion. Everywhere you kind of look, there's just such attention to detail, attention to the theme. It's complete escapism. You're in a total other world. It just really is special. And I think, as I mentioned, like we're really lucky as a family that we get to travel quite a lot. It really is my husband and I's passion that everything we do is to save up for that next trip. But something I think about a lot is kind of the difference between travel and holidays. So some trips are great, but they've still got an element of stress and logistics and real life within them. Whereas Walt Disney World is just a true escapist holiday. It's kind of purest form. It's just fun and it takes you out of the real world. And I just found you really get to relax and kind of forget about the rest of the world for a few days, really, and just enjoy it. I think that's really special.
And talking about travel, I was going to ask you this later on, but as you've mentioned it now, let's talk about where you will be in January. Like in days from now, having done Disneyland Paris and Disney World, where's your next trip?
We are going to the original Disneyland park in California.
With a 2-year-old. Or she'd be
I know,
2.5,
an almost
maybe
3-year-old.
Almost three.
Again, we're getting those free tickets in.
Yeah, you sure are.
Yeah, we're doing just for 3 days, so we're going to be in California for a little bit as part of a longer trip. But of course, while we're there, we couldn't resist the urge to go and see the original park. So yeah, we're going to do 2 days at Disneyland and then 1 day at the California Adventure Park. I'm so excited to see how they kind of compare to Disneyland Paris or to Walt Disney World, and yeah, I can't wait.
Is this because your husband's working over in California? Is that why?
Sadly, yes. Yeah, he has got to go up to San Francisco for work, but we're luckily, because it's been over some holidays anyway, we're going to spend a little bit of time in LA, a little bit of time in Las Vegas, which we also love.
I got Vegas with a toddler.
Yeah, it's a brave one. We love Vegas. It was our Disney World before Disney World. My husband and I actually got married in Las Vegas.
Oh, right. By Elvis?
No, everyone asks that. No, not by Elvis, but yeah, in a Vegas casino 10 years ago now. So we love Vegas. We've been a lot. We were there before we got married there. We've been a few times after. The last time we were there, I was actually pregnant. So we certainly thought it would be a while till our next trip. But since we're in the area anyway, we thought we'll go for a few days. We'll see how it goes with a toddler. But again, everyone always says that Vegas is Disneyland for adults. So for us, going to Disneyland is like being in Vegas, but for the family.
Another one of the world's greatest entertainment capitals. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities between Disney and Vegas.
Exactly.
Well, enjoy that. Enjoy it. Let's go back to Disney World, though. Now let's talk about some of your favourite Disney things. So you stayed at Caribbean Beach. Would you say that is your favourite resort? Having seen other resorts, not necessarily stayed at, would you?
Yeah, I mean, we did do a bit of kind of resort hopping. That's another side of Disney World I just absolutely adore. I love all the hotels. I love seeing all the different themes. But yeah, Caribbean Beach for us, I mean, it was just perfect. I really, there's almost nothing I can fault it for. I do see quite a lot of hate online for it. I think a lot of people get put off by the size. But for us, that was a bonus. As I say, it's kind of more spread out, so it gives you a calmer, more peaceful feeling. We stayed in one of the newly renovated rooms in their Trinidad section. So they've kind of renovated a bunch of rooms recently with not quite a Little Mermaid theme. I think they call it an Under the Sea theme.
Oh, yeah, okay. Subtle.
So there's no pictures of Ariel, but you do have like Flounder and Sebastian and things like that. So that was a fantastic room. Everything felt like brand new. Just the attention to detail in the room, as I say, especially because we can kind of now compare it to one of the value resorts, like little details like under the sink in the bathroom, there was a little built-in step you could pull out so that my daughter could stand at the sink on her own and like brush her teeth or wash her hands at the right height. It really felt like they had thought of every single tiny detail. It just really was that level that you hope for from Disney. I think as well, like we had such a magical experience at check-in at Caribbean Beach that we were always going to love it after.
What happened at check-in?
Our kind of arrival. So we drove up, we had a car, so we kind of drove up, and as we were kind of arriving, I saw the Mears Express coach pull in as well. So I was like, oh no, there's going to be loads of people going to check in before me. We really wanted to get an early room. So I jumped out the car and ran in on my own to kind of try and dodge the queue if I could. So I went in and straight up to check-in desk and got just the most wonderful cast member. He was like an older gentleman who had worked for the company for over 30 years. He had done time working in the Paris park, so wanted to talk to me about that. He had done time working in Hong Kong, so told me a bit about that. Just that really lovely kind of service you expect there. So while I was kind of chatting to him, I heard noise coming from behind me and I turned around and Goofy was in the lobby with my husband and my daughter, who'd then come in at that point. So they were getting their photos taken with Goofy and I was like, oh my God. So again, so the guy who was doing my check-in was like, oh no, go, like don't worry, I'll wait for you. You go and see them. So I kind of ran over and it was just that lovely experience meeting a character straight away. Just as soon as you come in, and again, see my little girl so happy. So that was perfect. We got our room. This was about 11 a.m. Our room was ready already. Perfect. So we thought, well, why don't we grab our refillable resort mugs? We'll get a coffee while we're here in the lobby and then we'll go to our room. So as we were doing that, my daughter made friends with another little girl. They started kind of playing together and she was carrying a little like bird cuddly toy. So we asked her and her parents about that and they said, oh, we went to visit the Purple Martins this morning.
Yeah.
So again, we had never heard of that. So we're like, what's that? And it's these birds, Purple Martins, that nest at Disney Caribbean Beach Resort. I think they have them in Epcot too.
I've seen
kind of some special birdhouses.
Yeah, little birdhouses.
So because we were then talking to them, before you know it, a cast member comes over from the nature team and says, oh, would you like to learn more about them? We're actually going to be going to check the birdhouses soon. Would you like to come with us? So we were like, okay, why not? So my husband, daughter and I walk outside and they take us round, and the nest boxes had little babies in them, like few-day-old baby birds. So they had them properly like lifted down because they take them down every day to count them and check they're okay. So yeah, we've been in a hotel all of about 15 minutes, and before you know it, say the nature team's taken us on a little individual tour to look at some baby birds that fly all the way from the Amazon to nest here. And it's such a small thing, but on top
Disney
of it,
difference. They call it the Disney difference.
Exactly. It just, and it's an experience that you're not expecting that from a Disney hotel. You're not expecting necessarily like nature and learning and those kind of things. And when that kind of all happened within the space of being there 20 minutes, it just really set the tone for like, okay, this is going to be a great week. And this is really going to be over and above, and just really set the tone. So I don't think we could have had a bad time at that hotel after that first little half hour. It's like, your room's ready, here's a character, here's an excursion to see some nature.
And have your coffee.
Have your coffee. Yep. And
Brilliant.
then every coffee after that's going to be included in the price. Enjoy yourself. It just, really was like, okay, we're going to have a good time here. This is going to be something special.
Let's talk about food. Any favourite restaurants that you visited? Quick service? Any good snacks? What would be top of your list?
Oh, it's such a hard one. So first of all, I'll say, so we're a vegan family. So that's, again, another big part of why Disney World really appealed to us. If you're vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, have allergies, the restaurants there just go over and above for you. Every single restaurant's going to have options. And that is just such again, another kind of relaxing layer to things.
Yeah.
Since we were just talking about Caribbean Beach, we only did a few table service meals, but one that really stood out was Sebastians Bistro at Caribbean Beach. It was really incredible. It's kind of family
it's one of my favourites now, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it been mentioned a few times in the pod. It is so good though, and I think it's great value for money. It's definitely at the lower end of price for the table service restaurants. That kind of new family style dining a lot of the places are doing, I think, is great. It was just really delicious, really tasty food, really nice atmosphere. Yeah, it was a real highlight. I'd say the other big highlight of table service meals for us was Roundup Rodeo barbecue in Hollywood Studios. Again, just for total, the food was good too, don't get me wrong, but just in terms of like theming, immersion, fun, silliness, it was just, it was a really cool experience.
And when you're plant-based as well, I guess it spoils it for you when you come home and you've got to start cooking for yourself. You go, and there was so much choice and variety of great, tasty food options.
Yeah.
And I've got to cook for myself.
I know. It was really just blown away by the choice of everything. And even, say, we mostly stuck to quick service places because, again, having a toddler, sometimes the speed is appreciated.
Yeah.
But everything was just incredible. Like from the Ronto Roasters, the wraps there are amazing. Like I've even heard some people saying they prefer the plant-based version to the normal version. It was that good. Satuli Canteen in Animal Kingdom was incredible. Those kind of rice bowls that you can customize and do, they were so great. Yeah, there's so many. The food was just fantastic. And then in terms of snacks, I think my all-time favourite snacks got to be the maple popcorn from Canada.
Oh, right.
In Epcot. It's just the best.
What about attractions? Favourite attraction?
As I mentioned, I think Tiana's Bayou Adventure was definitely a highlight for me. I absolutely loved it. I think it was such a long ride experience as well, kind of having that, all the dark room sections and then obviously the drops. It was so fun, and one I was worried about because I knew it had recently been refurbished, and obviously Splash Mountain being a bit of a beloved classic, you're always worried what they're going to do with things. But it was really great. I think maybe so I'm not a big thrill ride person. I'm definitely more kind of a there for the vibes kind of person with Disney parks. So I think my overall favourite might be Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I just found it so much fun. I love that we could all go on it together. It just, it blew me away. It wasn't what I was expecting at all. I didn't know a lot about it going into it.
That's often the best, though, not knowing. Yeah.
And it's hard. It's one of the sides of going with a young kid that it kind of takes away the surprise. Sometimes I felt like I had to do quite a lot of looking into rides to figure out what might be suitable for her, what might be scary. So ones that I was sure were going to be safe, I tried to not spoil for myself, and that was definitely one of them. So yeah, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, just for sheer just enjoyment, happiness, fun. I really, really loved it, and it's definitely one I can't wait to go on again. To be honest, a lot of Hollywood Studios I found really good fun. Like Toy Story Mania, we had an amazing experience on that too, where we actually got to go around twice. So it's kind of hard to beat as well.
How come you got to go twice? Did they forget to let you off?
It was just luck, I think. So we had a lightning lane for it. quite early in the morning. I think we rope dropped Mickey and Minnie. We then did a rider swap, but using Lightning Lane on Slinky Dog Dash, and then went to Toy Story Mania. So it was still relatively early in the morning. But as we were walking through the Lightning Lane, we kind of got to one of the little gate points, and a cast member said, "How many?" And we said 3. And he kind of pointed us down a different portion of the queue. And we were like, "Oh, okay." And we came round, and they'd actually put us into the accessible queue. So basically, I think they'd had a person in a wheelchair boarding one of the disabled access vehicles.
Yeah.
But they have 2 sides to them. So they had an empty other side of the ride vehicle. So I think because we were a small party, they kind of separated us off just to fill that ride vehicle with this other party, basically. So we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it took a little while to get loaded up because they were obviously assisting the other person to get on. And we were like, yeah, absolutely fine. So we went, we did the ride, we had such a laugh, it was really good fun. And then for whatever reason, when it kind of came round, because again, the accessible vehicles dock in a different place, so we drove round, and the cast member, because there was no one else waiting for that accessible vehicle, the cast member just said to us and the other party, "Do you want to go again?" And we all went, yeah. Yes, please. And then just let us go again. So it was pure luck. It was nothing to do with us. As I say, it was just luck of us getting selected to go in that vehicle, and the fact that there was no one else waiting in a wheelchair. So that was, really good fun, and gave me the chance to try and beat my husband, which sadly I didn't. He got the high score both times. So I'm going to need to practice.
Shocking.
I know.
If I was to give you your perfect Disney World day, talk me through it. Where you're staying, what you're doing, what you're eating, what attractions are you going on?
It's so hard. I think, not to repeat myself, but I mean, that morning at Hollywood Studios was pretty perfect. So I think up early, rope drop Mickey and Minnie, hit Slinky, Toy Story Mania, get a little breakfast, triple sun breakfast wrap at Ronto Roasters and Galaxy's Edge, and kind of just soak up the vibes around there. Then probably a Skyliner ride back to the hotel for a bit of chill, pool time, enjoy the sun. And then after that, I think we'd head over to Epcot. So Epcot was our absolute favourite park.
Yeah.
And we visited during Flower and Garden Festival, which, although there's a part of me that would love to see all of the other festivals, I loved Flower and Garden so much that I feel committed to that.
You're going back again. Do you know what? Food and wine is kind of like Flower and Garden, but without the topiaries. So you kind of like scratch that one off.
Yeah. So I think, so it would be kind of an Epcot afternoon during Flower and Garden, basically just no plans except eating all the different snacks at all the different booths. Maybe a quick ride on Soaring. Maybe over to Moana's Journey of Water. We loved that with our daughter. She adored that with all the water and things. Yeah. I thought that was such a well done space, especially to cool down on a hot day. We'd meet some characters. That's definitely a must do at Disney. And I felt like Epcot is weirdly underrated for character meet and greets. You can meet Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Daisy all so easily with such small queues. So definitely we'd hit up some character meet and greets, say hi to all of the Fab Five, and just have a lovely kind of calm, relaxed Epcot afternoon enjoying the festival. Then head back, jump on my beloved Skyliner again, back to Caribbean Beach Resort. And then one of the best dinners that we did, I think that would definitely have to be my perfect day, was we actually just got like a takeaway mobile order from the quick service location. They do these incredible tacos at all the Caribbean Beach quick service locations.
Yeah.
And we went and ate dinner on the beach during sunset.
Ah.
And it was just so wonderful. We had the whole little beach area to ourselves, hammocks, there's little chairs, loungers. You can watch the Skyliner going across the sunset. And then, as I say, once it gets dark, you can see the fireworks from Epcot, and maybe eat some maple popcorn that you've picked up at the Canada Pavilion.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think of a much better day than that, to be honest.
Sounds perfect.
Very relaxed and just enjoy the vibes and being there.
Well, enjoy Disneyland, which will be not far away now. I'd love to know what you think about that. Tag us in your pictures, then we can follow along with you. We'll
definitely. Yeah, I'll be posting all of that.
Any Disney World plans in the pipeline, or just?
Oh yes.
Okay.
We booked as soon as we came home from the last one. We loved it so much. Oh yes. So we're going back May 2026. So so we booked really early this time to take advantage of that, the free quick service dining plan. So we've got that to look for. We will be back in May. So yeah.
Here before you know it.
I know, can't wait.
Well, lovely chatting to you.
Thanks so much,
Sarah,
Andy. You too.
Have a magical day.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you again to Sarah for joining me on the podcast and sharing some stories. If you would like to come on the podcast and chat all things Disney World or Disney parks, any other Disney parks you want to chat about, send me a message at PodMagical. And don't be shy, don't go, well, maybe he's not looking for guests at the minute. We're always looking for guests because this podcast will go on and on and on as long as people want to come on and talk about their love of the Disney park. So please drop me a message, don't be shy, at PodMagical. And you're thinking, well, I've never been on a podcast before, I don't know how it works. Basically, we'll organise what is like a Zoom call and we'll chat about Disney World. That's kind of it, really, which is probably what you do to your friends anyway. You talk at them about Disney World. Come talk to me about it. At PodMagical, send me a message. If you're going to be going to Disney World over the next few weeks, well, things to know. It should be fairly quiet. I know it's the first day of Epcot Festival of the Arts, but last weekend was the big marathon through the park. So very, very busy weekend last weekend. So compared to that, it should be pretty quiet. However, let me prepare you. It's going to be cold. Yes, the next few days is going to be really... I don't mean like Florida cold. I can still get away with shorts and T-shirts. No, the temperature's really going to drop. In fact, they're closing Typhoon Lagoon, so it will be a case of jeans, thick socks and a jacket for the parks, especially at night when the temperatures drop to like 30-something degrees overnight. I think the highs during the day are running into the like 50s or 60s. But yeah, as I mentioned, it is the start of Festival of the Arts at Epcot Farts, a lot of people call it. As part of that, you've got the Broadway concert series, so there's going to be 3 concerts a night over the run of the show. There's some food. In fact, looking at the pictures of the food that were announced last week, it's like a pink Swiss roll. It's like a Figment Swiss roll. I am intrigued to try that. So there'll be food. It'll be very Instagrammable. It's going to be good to look at and hopefully nice to taste as well. Various exhibits. There's a Broadway exhibit, art that you can buy and walk through, and some photo opportunities. So it's a really short festival. It only opens today until the 23rd of February. But it is one of my favourite festivals at Epcot. Festival of the Arts is on now. Meanwhile, Universal are getting ready for Mardi Gras. They've announced the dates for things happening this year. Their next big thing will be Universal Mardi Gras, which starts from the 7th of February. Featuring the concert series, you can expect to see the likes of RuPaul or Zed, Bare Naked Ladies, Bebe Rexa, mostly Saturday nights. I think there's a few Fridays and Sundays. Pound to dollar at the minute, it's hovering about 1.35, which it has been for quite a while, really. There's not been a lot of change in the pound to dollar recently. And finally, to end the episode on the top tip, always like to end on a top tip. Now, I have mentioned this before, but some top tips are worth mentioning again. At the very start of your park day, before you even leave your resort, before you leave your hotel room, get a group photograph. A full-length group photograph. Pop your phone on the sideboard there, pop it on a timer, get everybody in, and have a picture in the outfits you're going to be wearing for the day. Every day. Start your day by doing this. Make it a habit. Why? Well, it's quite nice to look back at. You go, oh, we wore that on our Hollywood Studios day. But also, if, heaven forbid, anybody goes missing in the parks, I mean, it's pretty safe if anybody goes missing, but if you do happen to lose someone, especially if they are younger members of the family, you start to panic. The first thing you do, find a cast member and say, look, I've lost somebody, and they'll say, oh, what do they look like? You can get that picture and go, well, this is what they look like this morning. That's what they look like. That's what they're wearing right now. Rather than going, they're quite small, they've got Mickey T-shirt on and Mickey ears, because that could be anybody. So, yeah, just get into a habit of starting your day with a group photo, full-length group photo. Let's see what you're wearing. Any tips that you would like to share, drop me a message at PodMagical. If you want to be a guest like Sarah on this episode, the brilliant Sarah, who's a wonderful guest, drop me a message I'd love to chat to you about Walt Disney World, and we shall chat again in 2 weeks' time. Back with a brand new episode. If you can follow us on wherever you're listening to your podcast, be it Spotify or Apple, please do that. If you can give us a 5-star review, that's also very helpful and doesn't cost you anything. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with a new episode in 2 weeks. Until then, please stand clear of the doors.